Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. Today we are doing a review of episode 10 of the Buddy Valastro's Cake Dynasty, and the title is called A Fair-Ly Crazy Cake, because one of the parts of the episode, which is usually they make a cake for somebody or some entity, is they're making it for the Meadowlands, New Jersey State Fair. So that's why it's called Fairly Crazy Cake, because it's so enormous and it has lights, it has mechanics, meaning it spins around, and then you have the cake and the decorations. It has little swings and little stuffed animal looking figures, and it has, on the sides, it has really intricate paintings. It's really cool, actually, but it's humongous. So, but there are other parts to the episode, but usually it's, kind of built around the cake, and we'll keep going. So, Marco, what did you think about this episode?
Well, it's another episode of the show. It kind of felt like a finale.
Yeah, it did.
So I'm wondering if it is the finale. We don't even know because it's so unclear. There's no, I don't see any sort of, indication of anything about, is it the mid-season finale? Is there going to be more episodes? Is it only 10 episodes? I don't see anything in regards to that. It's just here's another episode. Here's another episode. Here's another episode. And it's meaningless. So, but I thought the episode was okay. I've just kind of gotten sick of these episodes because a lot of them are very repetitive. And, they're overly dramatic. And the stuff that's enjoyable, you have to, pick out. You're going through the garbage to find, treasure in the garbage can. And, that's what it's like. Right, Safi?
Well,
yes, Marco, that's exactly what it's like. You're always right, Marco.
Right?
Exactly. But,
suck on that.
The other issues are they are going to, I wonder if there's going to be a point where they can't do everything they want to do.
Yeah, because they're stretching themselves so thin.
They want to put out they have a potential contract with a retailer, which they wouldn't say, but I'm thinking maybe Walmart, because they have all these other deals with them, like the frozen foods and these cake slices. Or are they selling cakes there too? But I remember they have the slices there, and
I think they are. Maybe, I don't know.
And so, but they
have
didn't say what who the retailer is, but they're already putting out
6-inch cakes.
30,000 cakes a week. This will add another 90,000 cakes. Now, with that, you're going to need more people. And
yeah, so they have the product that they showed in this episode at Walmart.
Okay,
they
it is Walmart.
They have multiple. There's another one with different ones as well. So,
and when you say different ones, it's
different flavors.
This one particular cake, what they have to do is at a certain time, which is coming up during the episode, they have to have 5,000 at once go out in a day, and then when it arrives wherever it's supposed to be arriving, they have to check to see if it made it there okay, if it was good, etc. And so what they have to do is they have to hire some more people to put out these extra 5,000, and it's a different cake. In fact, Marco was looking at it, and there's two.
But yeah, there's this new one, and it's chocolate and This is really funny. Here's a review from someone. Sounded amazing, but wasn't. My daughter was so excited when she saw this cake. She had to have it for her birthday. It was packaged well, but several of the points of caramel cream on top had been deflated. Overall, still looked good. Cutting into it was very difficult due to the layers. It was hard to get to look good plated, but we were still excited. Then we tried it, and not one of the 6 of us could finish it. The sugary, cloying sweetness was overwhelming. The caramel cream was gritty with sugar. The cheesecake was creamy but so sweet that the sour couldn't balance. This was a terrible cake. And somebody else says not worth the money.
Well, that's the other cake.
This is a 6-inch cake. Both of them are worth $25. And it's 3 cake types in one, but it's only a 6-inch cake, and it's $25.
And it's there's 3 layers. It's called the Everybody Cake. It includes a confetti cake, a toffee cake, and a cheesecake.
Somebody else says,
and they're all made differently.
I've been a fan of Buddy's for years, and always wanted to try some of his cakes, and was excited that I could get one locally. I hate to say it, but I was very let down. First of all, they are rather pricey, but I was willing to pay since it's Cake Boss. Then there was the quality. The cheesecake was the best part. The actual cake layer was bland and flavorless. The blondie was so sweet I couldn't eat it. The buttercream frosting was unlike anything I ever had. All I could taste was super sweet. I am sure you could get fresh from their bakery are probably fantastic, but this was not. I can say I will most likely not buy another product from Carlo's Bakery unless I am physically there in the store. So, yeah.
So really, the reviews, and they have, so now since the show, the episode we saw, they provided another 3-layer cake, which Marco just talked about, and it's has its problems too, in terms of the layers. And he just said it. The cheesecake was the best.
It's kind of a stupid idea.
Another was bland, and then another one's is just too sugary.
Isn't it kind of a stupid idea anyway?
Oh, he wants to make sure everybody tastes every single cake they make, and this is the way to do it.
Like, what if you made it good? Oh, they have a maple one, too. It's called a fall cake.
It's all maple?
No, I think it's maple on top. I don't know. They won't say what the layers are. There's no, like, this one, it says, Carlo's Bakery, everybody's fall cake with spiced maple buttercream icing, but, like, there's no indication as to what's inside unless you read the reviews. And then the bigger cakes are so overpriced that, like, no one wants to pay that shit. Like,
oh my god, there's one for $100.
Yeah, for like a regular birthday cake, you have to pay $100 for that from Buddy.
It's 10 inches.
What a waste of money. And this is at Walmart, and like, why is Walmart doing that? Like, Walmart, they're just the worst. They just suck. They're just trash.
Well, the only way we're going to, at least for me, we had a shooting there right before Thanksgiving.
Do curbside pickup.
I'm never go in there again.
Even at the curbside pickup, you should have a bulletproof vest on.
I'll just get curbside pickup. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm never going to go in there again. Anyway, and I don't want to talk about that. I mean, other people.
Well, I just thought it would be good to talk about that because there really isn't very much to talk about with this episode like usual. You know, you had the stuff with making the cake. Oh no, there's a little problem here and there because that's what happens when you do things. You get problems. Oh no.
Well, they made it's so big. They can barely, I mean, I'm talking about a quarter of an inch or less able to get it out of the building. And then they have, again, like last week, they had, and this is going, they're in New Jersey. This is going to the New Jersey State Fair, so they're not going a great distance. They're not going all the way to Las Vegas. I mean, that was pretty unbelievable. this is going to the state fair. It's going to have a ride on it that has swings attached, like I said. It also has, but on top of this, and it's mechanical, which means it goes around, it revolves around, and it lights up. And Buddy Jr. did all of that.
I thought that was cool, I guess,
yeah,
but...
Well, that is interesting how he excels at that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, though, is 3 humongous layers of cake, 3 different sizes. So it's a tiered cake on top of that. So it is a pretty, and I talked about all the ornamentation, the lights, the mechanics, all the decor, the paintings. They have it's a very famous old ride that's been around there a long time, and you know they've improved it, of course, but it is a really beautiful, interesting cake, but it is so humongous. They just barely got it out the door. They had to make a special crate, and they didn't make the crate. Somebody else did, and they didn't account for the 2x4s, which did not account for the footage of the cake would not fit. So they had to turn the sides of the box inside out to where the 2x4s were shown outside. And then it barely worked, but it worked. And so then Buddy you have to have a forklift license apparently. They had to have a forklift, and to use that to get the cake, they had to go completely around the fair and put it in the spot. And of course, Buddy had a forklift. It was very scary to take it off. And it was just, and when they were testing it. When they were in the factory, it actually, the forklift, the forks, the cake got stuck on one of the forks, and so it was damaged a little bit at the top, and they had to repair it. You know, that 3-tiered part, and so it wasn't bad, and it didn't seem to take them long, but it was pretty hairy. And it was heavy, but it looked really good. They managed to get it there, and everybody loved it. It was really cool with the lights.
It was a nice cake,
and
for
the
once.
Mechanics, and it also looked like there was edible. It was edible. The 3-layer I know all the other ones are in some way, but you know, to do these mechanics and lights, you're not going to eat that part, so that you have to have some part of it. So anyway, it looked really good, and so anyway, but then we've still got this problem with the everybody cake, and apparently, in order to ice the cake, you know, you're talking about in a factory with factory lines, and they had different machines that put the batter in the containers, and then you have another kind of machine that ices the cake, and you have different size, like there's these flat pieces, and they did not get the flat piece that they requested. They sent them another one. So they had to take out some icing from the center, and then the flat pieces that they had would work in icing the cake. So they managed to do that. They got out 5,000 cakes in a day. They had to get all the family involved. They had to hire some extra employees that were referred by other employees. And that worked out. The big cake worked out. And then also he has this thing where he has some kind of shoulder problem. And
which I was like, oh, how much are they going to milk that?
And there's 2 things that they can do after he had to get an MRI.
So let's actually review the episode.
Okay,
you know,
well,
like
I just wanted to say what
things
what
that you
the
thought
things
and
they
stuff
discussed.
like that, because like, you know, that's kind of like why we do the video. It's not so that you can just say what happened in
what
a
to
really.
say. It was wonderful to watch them. I still enjoy
Why don't you say something
the
original?
part about the factory where they show what problems can come up
Really?
and how they deal with them, because this isn't a car factory. or a tractor factory.
You like that
or
part?
something, but it's a cake making or a dessert making factory.
Well, I was trying to go through before you interrupted me
Okay, well, I'll stop.
10 minutes ago, but they also have to have Buddy Jr. with his whole college or no college dilemma.
Well, that comes at the very end.
No, it doesn't. It
Really?
It starts off in the episode, and so like he says a couple times in the episode, like, maybe I could go to college, and then the people at the bakery will take me seriously.
I don't.
It's so stupid.
And I felt like, if he can't take himself seriously,
Yeah.
how can they take him seriously?
Because, like, that's just a stupid thing to say, like, maybe I should go to college just so the people at the bakery will take me seriously. I'm not gonna, just do work and, just put everything I have into doing the work. Like, no, I'm going to go to college so I can be taken seriously by people at bakery. And also we should talk about Sophia, because she comes back for a little cameo, and
She helps with all that final thing with the
Safi
cake.
wants to mention that there's a little issue with her, is that she never wears a hairnet,
Yeah, I don't get
and
that.
she's all around the cake. And, what do you think of that,
I don't
Safi?
understand it. They have, and everybody else has hairnet. All the other, she helped work on the big cake. And all the other women who have their parts, the sculptor and all the other people who do, specialty parts to the cake, they all wear hairnets. Every single one of them. But she comes there, and she has this thick, rich hair that's all over the place. And she doesn't have a hairnet. I don't get it. And she doesn't have it in a ponytail. Nothing. I don't get it.
I don't know, like, maybe some people would like her hair in their food, in their cake. Like, oh, look, it's my daughter's birthday, and I just cut into a buddy cake, and there's a hair from Sophia. Ooh, isn't that cool? Ooh, I'm going to collect it and put it in a plastic bag and hang it up in my room. Ooh! Like, is that what they think? Safi?
I don't know.
Is that what you would do?
What
would you do if you saw that?
I don't understand it.
I'd make a viral video and get Cake Boss to respond to it. Like an apology video type thing. That'd be pretty funny.
I
Like,
don't know.
sorry. Like the BP oil. Instead of BP, it'd be BV, Buddy Valastro. Sorry about my daughter's hair. Sorry. Right, Safi?
Whatever.
Anyways, Safi would like to talk about also the fact that Velma at one point in the episode takes off her glasses. And that was kind of like, I don't know, an important moment in the episode.
Why?
Because it's like the moment in the movie where the girl with the glasses takes them off.
I noticed that, but I just it didn't have an effect on me at all.
Really?
No.
Well, it was just pretty funny. I mean, it didn't really change anything. But, usually in the movie, the girl takes off the glasses, and then all of a sudden there's, like, some music that plays, and there's, like, fairy dust that sprinkles everywhere. And that didn't happen here. It was just like, gotta work on this cake. Jinkies! Something bad happened! Because she's Velma, so she has to say, Jinkies! Right?
Marco's in a weird mood.
You remember that?
It must be the weather.
Jinkies!
It's only 7 degrees out, and I think it's affecting our brains.
Oh no! Sophia's not wearing a hairnet! Jinkies!
Nobody says anything either.
No.
Or at least they don't show anybody saying anything. But
So that's kind of gross, kind of, but not as gross as the one where Buddy Jr. put the bowl on his head.
well, that was weeks ago.
I mean, he was making direct contact with that. So, but anyways,
And somebody did say something about that.
Well,
His
she
sister.
did.
Yeah.
But there's not really much else to say. You know,
He has a bad shoulder, and he takes cortisone shots to alleviate the pain because he can't do anything. He's in too much pain.
Yeah. And so at the end of the episode, this is where the finale moment happens because, I mean, I guess this whole season, instead of it being about Buddy making cake and, like, the interesting, like, fun things that happen, instead of that, it's really been all about Buddy Jr. Will he go to college? Will he not? And it's like, number one, who fucking cares about whether the rich douchebag kid goes to college or not?
He's been accepted at Syracuse.
Number two, why is this so significant to this show? Because, like, right now, nobody's going to be taking over the bakery. Like, Buddy Jr. isn't going to wake up tomorrow morning and take over Carlo's bakery. Like, Buddy is still in charge, for better or for worse, and he's going to be in charge for a while. So, like, this whole thing with, like, who's going to take over? It's like, who really cares at this point? Because, like, that's not going to happen for a while. Right, Safi?
Yeah, that's true. And the only thing that they would lose, I think, but they have so many relatives and friends that is his mechanical ability. Like, there's been probably at least 3 episodes where he's had some kind of part in the mechanics of the cake, like it movement, lighting, sound. For the Las Vegas one, it was the cold sparks coming out of the tubes that look like those fountains on 4th of July. And so it seems like he's been the one to, although it felt like sometimes that it was almost like they set it up for him to, like, say that, like it was, what would you call it, pre-planned or something.
Well, I think, number one,
spontaneous.
They kind of tell him what to say, and they probably, like, try to provoke him of what to say, of, like, they ask him these certain, like, leading questions to get him to say something interesting, and it's like, you know, the interesting part is the making of the cake. You know, that's what always used to be the interesting part of the show. You know, like, making the cake and, you know, all the different aspects of making a single cake. It's really complicated, and the decorating and the baking, and, you know, that's what's interesting, not like if
soap opera.
Buddy Jr. is going to go to college or not. Like, I really don't care.
It's almost like well, I haven't ever seen it, but like a reality show about family.
And it never used to be like that either. Like, it would only, like, they would have that very sparingly to where it was, like, spiced in. You know, like, you don't want too much salt in your food unless you want to be like Chef Gordon.
Who loves salt.
You know, you just put salt on when it's needed, and you don't overly salt the dish. And this show is just, everything is so overly salty because, like, the show now has become Buddy's family issues and family drama, and it's just not interesting at all because, like you see in each week, there's really nothing to talk about in the reviews.
Well, I think
hardly.
The reason why it's like a finale too, because I think the whole season, I think maybe even every episode, they've talked about this issue.
Yeah.
Is he or is he not going to college? And I mean, every single episode, it might have been mentioned at least once.
10 episodes of that.
And then we get to the final one. He says, "I've made a decision." I mean, this is the last few minutes. I'm going to go try out college and see what it's like.
Yeah, that was the most cringeworthy part of the episode. But, we forgot another cringeworthy part. There was a part earlier in the episode where Buddy is feeling a lot of pain in his shoulder. And he gets his wife, Lisa, to come over and she hand feeds him his medicine, and I thought that was super cringe. Like, he's such an important, like, all-powerful guy. He can't handle taking a pill out of her hand and feeding it to himself. Like, he has to eat it out of her hand like he's a child. And I thought that was funny. What'd you think about that, Safi?
It was just weird. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I would never do that. He's not in the hospital. I mean, he was terribly injured a few years back by the bowling.
But he can use his hands.
And, well, that was his right hand, and he's right-handed. And,
well,
but this
okay, he can reach out of her hand with...
I know that. And that's what I'm saying. He could do that now. But he's not injured.
Yeah.
He could have done that.
So that was really strange, Safi.
Weird.
But at the end of the episode, Buddy Jr., he comes in and he's like... he looks like a little trickster, like a little jackal or something. And he's like, you know what? I kind of want to go to college just to, like, give it a whirl and try it out, Like, I just tried out the bakery in the summer. So, like, I'm just going to go and try out college and, just go try it out.
I could tell his father was very disappointed.
Yeah.
I could feel it.
Well, I was disappointed because I was like, this just proves that he's not serious. Because he's basically treating it like a game. Like, there's a lot of video games where it's all about, like, you have two big groups and they're fighting each other, and for the first half of the game, you're in one of the groups, and then in the second half of the game, you go to the other group and you work with them because you're, like, playing all the different sides. And that's basically, like, what Buddy Jr. is doing now. It's like, oh, I'm just going to go give college a try. And, just go give it a try. And it's like, that's not what going to college is for. It just shows that, like, his rich boy mindset is a huge issue. Because he knows that his parents are going to pay for everything. And he knows that he can just go to college and give it a try. And it's super cringeworthy. It was definitely, like, one of the worst moments of this season for me.
Well, it's just been, they've talked about it every single time. And now we come to the point he makes his decision. He has been accepted to Syracuse. He doesn't have to go out of state. So he'll be close to home, so to speak. And, I don't know. I don't know what he wants. I don't know what they want. I know his father really wants him to stay, but my God, he has 3 other children. And I know that this boy is very good in the mechanics. And but as far as the cake, and now here they are with this quality control. I mean, we just read about these 3 special cakes that are put together into one, how they're quality control issues. And like I said, the more you do, the more you have to keep track of, and is it really necessary that they do that? I mean, I guess if they can get in control over these quality issues, like the person talked about the caramel. They talked about the flavor of that cake, how it was bland. They talked about how it was too sugary and icing. Those are issues. And they're asking a lot of money for these cakes. And people don't. I mean, we're still having an inflation issue. It's gone up in the last few months. I don't know, it was over 2%. They're trying to do something about it, but it's not just them. It's the companies, big companies, that are causing the problem, so they can get their stock buybacks. But anyway, he has 3 other children, and this focus on his oldest son, like, if he doesn't take over the business or he gets involved in something, which I don't see it. I don't see him getting involved in anything else. That's what I mean. It's hard to take seriously because I feel like it's just a lark. Like it's some kind of little, because they're so wealthy, they don't have to worry about the cost, and he can just go play around. And because he said this thing where I'm not a school person.
And yet he's going to college. Like, it's just such a joke. Like,
so
it's pretty bad to me.
They're going to do what they do, but I don't know. It's like they're doing too much. And we'll see. I mean, it might work out for them. And that's great if it does, but you start to lose something. It's just like Marco said. I apologize. When they did the other show, the cakes were more in tune with smaller groups. It was a more personal thing, and now it's kind of almost corporate, and not quite. But still, when they're expanding this factory stuff so they can make more and more and more and more money. And with more and more and more money, does that mean the quality is still good? Doesn't sound like it. So you have to hire more employees. That's a good thing because they're making jobs. But they have these issues. They showed it.
Which there was a funny part. There was a funny part in the episode. Where he was like, I guess we're going to have to get a lot more people.
I guess so.
Like, that was just so funny. Like, he's like, I guess we're going to have to get a lot more people to help out. Like,
I mean, I can understand. He's had this dream. He talked about it with his father. That he said, our cakes are going to be sold all over the country. Well, it's happened. But it's not like these people said in their reviews. They like to go into the bakery itself, and they think they would get a more quality, better product.
Well, the overwhelming thing is that, like, everything is too sweet. And so, like, I guess with everything with Chef Gordon was too salty, everything with Buddy is too sweet. So I think that's kind of interesting, too. Like, maybe cut down on the sugar.
Yeah, they might need to work on that.
Because they really are sweet. I mean...
And we've had some.
We've had a ton. I basically had a whole cake. I had the whole rainbow cake. I've had multiple slices from the sampler in 2018 or 2019. So, it's very sweet. But it's not bad. It's just like... It feels too like it's funny because it feels like something that Buddy Jr. would make, because, right, Safi? Like the cake itself, it's like it feels like Buddy Jr. already took over with the way that the cake should be a lot better.
I worry about him because it seems like he might in the future. Now, I'm not talking about now, but he might take shortcuts.
Yeah.
To achieve what they need to achieve. And I don't think that's when the quality of the product goes down. And Buddy Senior knows that, and he talks about that. He really is worried about quality control, and hopefully he looks at the reviews of the products, especially those 3 different types of cake products that he sells, that he looks at the reviews, because they're giving their honest appraisal of the different layers and the icing, and that would be a great way to improve what you're doing by reading those reviews.
Yeah. Well,
because it isn't just, they tested the products in the factory and said, oh, this is good, and they're all chowing down. Well, to me, it's almost like they're in a trap.
Well, they're in an echo chamber.
Yeah. And these are people, they're getting those cakes in another part of the country, maybe even another part of New Jersey. and they're honestly eating them. They're slicing into them. I mean, it's a real deal thing, and they need to listen to those reviews.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if they want to really expand their business like that into some kind of empire, which is...
It's kind of queer, because what does that even mean? Like, that there's terrible cake all around the country and everyone doesn't want it? You know, like, that's not an empire. That's a trash pyre. So I give the episode a C, because, you know, it just doesn't feel like the show that I used to watch, honestly. So, but it is better a little bit because there's no Rice Krispies.
Yeah, we are very grateful.
And that is a huge, like, upgrade, because, like, I was really getting sick of the Rice Krispie Cake Boss era. It's like, let's just use Rice Krispies. Get out the Rice Krispies. We gotta make a Rice Krispie cake.
Yeah, and I don't think, I think that was like a, what would you call it? Like a shortcut or something easy that took away from the quality of the cake. Now Marco's sticking a measuring tape into my face. I don't understand it.
I know.
So anyway, I give the cake a cake. I'll give it a C plus.
Really?
But and I think one of the problems, I guess, reason why I would give it an average grade is because we don't even know if this is finale or not.
Yeah, like, there's no indication at all. They could at least say, the finale!
I mean, we've been watching Fargo, for example, and reviewing that, and they're clearly, every episode is clearly the number, and then 2 more episodes to the finale, 1 more episode to the finale, then we have the finale coming up this coming Tuesday in a few days. So, I mean, everything's made clear.
Yeah.
And it's just like, any of the other series TV we watched. The finale is going to be 2 episodes, and they're coming up whenever. You know, we hear this, but this series is not clear. And it feels like, when we watched it, exactly what, we thought. Especially when the whole season was revolving around, is Junior going to college, or is he not going to college? Is he, or isn't he? And now we come to the end. I'm going to go and give it a try. For some reason.
I'm gonna go give it a whirl.
In the hopes of what?
Probably
because he's
so.
going to have a college degree.
No.
And I mean, so what? It really...
It's meaningless.
Nowadays, if you get a bachelor's degree, it's like having a second high school diploma.
Yeah.
You really have to have more education. I mean, it's been that way for a while.
Well, the thing is that, like, I think maybe he just wants to go to college so that he can hook up.
I have no idea. That's just,
I don't know. I mean, there's no reason.
Opinion.
There's no actual reason for him to be going. It's like a huge, like, bungle of his, and it's like, it's sad that his dad, he tried to do everything in his power. He tried to do everything, like, you can be here and you can work your way up and be the next cake boss, and Junior's just like, yeah, but I want to go give it a try. That's not what college is for. Yeah,
it actually is. Freshman year, you try out different, you take all these electives, and because you try out, you don't really...
But that's not what college is for, Safi.
Well, the
like,
first
you
year
don't
is
go,
kind of a tryout year.
You don't go to high school and say, I'm going to go give high school a try.
I mean, college a try.
No, high school either. Like, it's like saying, I'm going to go to high school and give it a try.
It seems really... I think the problem is, it seems really disingenuous.
It is disingenuous. He said he's not a school guy.
No, he said that. We're not making that up. He said that. So why would you go to college? That's for people who are serious. Anyway, and he won't be... his parents won't be able to cater to his every need because they won't be there. He'll still... Even though he's rich... and he can have whatever he wants and do whatever, they won't.
And you saw...
He'll be away from his
family.
The
reason why I say it felt like a finale is after he made that decision, Buddy went on this little, like, emotional, like, ending, or not really emotional, but just the ending where he's like, all my kids are gonna do well. Sophia, she's gonna take over the world, but she's not gonna be taking over at Buddy's bakery because she's a girl. And then,
He didn't say that, but,
yeah, that's kind of what's
it's an
implied to me.
implication, yeah.
It's like, she's going to take over the world, but, she's not going to take over Carlo's bakery. And then, Buddy Jr., he's really good with mechanical stuff. And then Marco, he could sell you anything. And then Carlo, he's probably going to do the finances one day. And, we're all the Buddy's family. And then they showed the mansion. Did you see his mansion? They showed that in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, oh, God. Like, how far has the cake boss fallen in terms of the show?
Whatever. So, anyway, that's it. I think we've exhausted our... We can't say anything else. You can't control these people. They're going to do what they do.
Yeah, because this happened in the summer. All this stuff, it's aired like a million years away.
Yeah,
after it happened.
They do read the reviews that people have left.
Oh, if they listen to the reviews, they're going to get upset, too.
About the cakes. Well, these people actually bought the cakes, and they tried the cakes, and one of them was for the daughter's birthday, who really, really wanted it.
And see, this is why I have not taken a chance with that, because I think it'd be very disappointing.
Well, I wouldn't want to have this 3 kind of cake.
I wouldn't either. That would be like something you take to a party.
Well,
you have it out at a party, and then you could come try each layer and play games and shit. Like, that's like a party type of cake. That's not like a cake that you get to eat.
But especially like, let's say, a cheesecake is completely different from a toffee cake. I mean, It's just like...
Or a blondie.
That's
I've
like
never
brownie.
I've never had a blondie before, but that you saw with that cake. What were the different layers? Like, you had a blondie.
One was a toffee.
Toffee.
One was a blondie, and one was the cheesecake.
And cheesecake, and it's like, those do not go together at all.
And I like it. If people want to buy the different cakes, make them different.
Yeah.
I just don't go. I'm sorry, personally, I don't go for this 3 different type cake.
I think what would be better, maybe, is if you just sold slices of the 3 cakes in one. Because then it would be less money that you'd have to spend. But maybe they just want to make people pay more money.
Well, that's what I mean. It's about enriching themselves.
We're not going to pay $25 to get the 3 cakes in one. That's a waste.
Well, especially when you don't know. Just like these people, they were really, like, the daughter really wanted it for her birthday.
She had a shitty-ass birthday thanks to Buddy.
That's a shame. Because they spent a lot of money and...
That would be like, oh, for my birthday, Safi, go get me a Gordon Ramsay meal from Walmart.
Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and become one of our subscribers. And we will be back soon. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.